Welcome back to Cuca's Kitchen, where cooking is made easy. Today, we are going to cook pork chops in a green tomatillo sauce. So the first step, the most important step, is for you to stop doing whatever you're doing, subscribe to this channel, like it, share it, hit all the bells and whistles so that you can be informed on any future uploads. All right, back to our recipe. We're going to use tomatillos, garlic cloves, serrano chiles, which are completely optional, they are spicy. We're going to use onion and jalapeno peppers. We're going to put this on top of our stove and we're going to grill everything up. We're going to char everything up, and once everything's charred, we're going to mix it all up together. Now we could use our molcajete, but around here we like to keep things very simple. So we're going to go ahead and use our blenders today. So let's get started by seasoning our pork chops. I'm using pink salt, black pepper, and garlic powder. And we're going to flip them over and season them on the other side as well. Same ingredients. We're using salt, black pepper, and our garlic powder. Now that Sazón GOYA that you see there, we're going to add that when we're ready to blend everything up together in our blender. So let's go to the stove. So as you see, I already put the grill on the stove, and now I'm adding oil to our preheated pan. Make sure your oil is nice and hot. Add your pork chops onto your pan. And that sizzle you see on the pork chops, that's what we're looking for. Let these pork chops stay on that side for about 3 to 5 minutes until they're nicely browned. Meanwhile, you want to keep an eye on your tomatillos, your chiles, your jalapenos, your onion, and your garlic, that it does not burn. You want it to have a nice char to it. Now, if you don't like anything spicy, just do not add serranos, and you can actually take the seeds out of the jalapeno peppers. And it's still going to be really nice and tasty. And so now our pork chops are ready to be flipped over to the other side. They're nice and browned. And again, you're going to leave these pork chops on this side for another 3 to 5 minutes. Meanwhile, you want to keep an eye on your chiles. Usually the serrano chiles are the ones that are charred up a lot faster. This is what you're supposed to look for. You don't want them to burn, you just want a nice char on the jalapeno peppers. And so make sure, that's our tomatillo right there, you make sure to turn everything around. On the other side. And it smells real nice in here. And usually the serranos are the ones that are charring up a lot faster, and our garlic cloves, you want to remove those as soon as they're done. Just set them aside on a bowl so that we give our rest of our friends here, our jalapeno, our tomatillos, an opportunity to char all around nice and evenly. Also, if our pork chops are already browned on the other side, you're going to want to remove those from your pan. And yes, they're nice and brown, so let's remove them. And don't do anything to your pan. All those bits that are at the bottom of the pan, we're going to use those. We're going to introduce our sauce once it's liquefied, and that's just going to give our sauce another level of flavor. So let's start adding our ingredients into our blender. Make sure you remove the outer layer of your garlic clove. Add your jalapenos, your serranos. And this is where you want to season the sauce as much as possible. I'm using pink salt. Add salt to taste. You don't have to add it here. You can add it afterwards so you can taste it. And a cup of water. And this is where we're going to add those 2 little packs of Sazón GOYA. So add it to your blender. Just gives it a nice extra flavor to the sauce. So go ahead and blend everything together. You want everything to be blended well. And it should look something like this. And yes, it's ready. Let's go to the stove. So those bits, they're just waiting for our sauce. So go ahead and add your sauce to that, to the bottom of that pan. All those bits are gonna come up. You wanna stir it. And at this point you could taste it for any other seasonings that you wanna add. More salt, more pepper. All those bits are just gonna give it another type of flavor. And at this point, you're going to want to reintroduce your pork chops. Make sure that they are nicely covered with all the sauce. And this sauce, like you see, it's completely easy, delicious to make. You don't have to put them on the grill. You could also just boil them, but the char actually gives it a nice flavor to the sauce. And so now that the pork chops are reintroduced to your sauce, you're going to let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes until everything comes together real nice. And so this is the final result. My husband is going to accompany it with frijoles. And he's going to accompany it with a nice cold Samuel Adams. He's also going to use Milagro tortillas. And this is what I'm going to be eating. My pork chop and sauce and a low carb Michelob Ultra beer. I like to cut into my pork chop. So I like it in a taco. And I use the banderita tortillas. The reason I use banderita tortillas is because they're low carb, and of course I'm on a low carb diet. These tortillas, with all the fiber that they have, per tortilla is only 4 carbs. So I could actually have 2 of those tortillas and still be under my carb count. And so what I like to do is just take my pork chops and put them on my tortilla. And then I like to put some sauce on it. Add some lime to it. And roll it up like a taco. And taste. And it's a good thing I recorded myself later, because I wouldn't be able to talk right now. That was a big bite. And of course my beer goes well with my taco. And this is what's going to be for dinner tonight. Guys, make this sauce. It's delicious. You're gonna love it. Enjoy. Buen provecho. I'm gonna keep eating.